You are not lazy. You are creative. You've been sitting with that idea for months. You know the one that feels too big to start, too fragile to show anyone, too important to risk doing wrong. And every day you don't begin it, the world gives you a name: lazy. But what if the problem was never discipline? What if it was never willpower or routine or the perfect productivity system? What if the real problem is that you think too deeply to move quickly through a world that rewards people who don't? Society built itself around a certain kind of person, someone who follows instructions without asking why, someone who executes without needing meaning, someone who performs without needing to feel. And then it called everyone else broken. But laziness, as we define it, rarely exists on its own. What we call laziness is often something else entirely: overstimulation wearing the face of exhaustion. A mind so full of ideas it can't find the door out. Resistance, not to work, but to meaningless work. Creative people don't avoid effort, they avoid futility. There is a kind of exhaustion that nobody talks about. It doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from imagining too much and then having to live inside a world that moves too slowly for what you see in your mind. It feels like lying awake in the middle of the afternoon, staring at the ceiling, while 100 different futures collide inside your head. And the world looks at that person and says, "Get up." But they are up. They have never stopped moving, just not anywhere you can see. Procrastination for a creative mind is rarely the avoidance of work. It's the search for the right version of the work. The version that feels worthy, the version that matches the vision inside. And until that version appears, nothing. Not because of weakness, because of impossibly high internal standards that most people never notice. Here is the quiet war creative people fight every day: the gap between what you can imagine and what you can currently produce. You see it perfectly in your mind: the film, the business, the art, the future. You see it with a clarity that almost hurts, and then you try to create it, but what comes out feels smaller than the vision. So you stop. Not out of laziness, out of grief. There is grief in being able to sense excellence before you are capable of creating it. Nobody teaches you that this gap is normal, that every great creator once lived inside this same frustration. Instead, the world sees your stillness and mistakes it for failure. And slowly, you begin to believe it too. But a tree doesn't grow faster because someone screams at it, and a mind does not create on command. Creativity is not a switch, it is a climate. It needs silence, safety, space, time. The modern world only respects visible movement, but creation has always begun invisibly, in silence, in confusion, in long periods where nothing seems to happen, until suddenly something does. So hear this carefully. You are not broken, you are not lazy, and you are not behind. You are a mind carrying more than it can easily hold. You care deeply, you think deeply, you imagine deeply. And yes, that gift comes with weight, the weight of wanting your work to matter. But the answer is not to become less creative. The answer is to stop judging yourself by standards designed for machines. Machines replicate. Human beings create. And real creation from the outside has often looked like nothing right before it became everything.